Scarcity mindset is to believe that one is more of the plant than one is of the soil. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the second house in your natal chart. And we're going to take a very interesting and unique twist of astrology and manifestation to understand the second house in your natal chart and to manifest with it. Let's do this experiment together. And if you would like to purchase the worksheets, you can see the link down below. And we're going to go through the second house of income worksheets. So pull out your natal chart, and I want you to find the second house, which would be the second from the ascendant, from your rising sign. This is your house of production and income. This ultimately can lead as a spiritual guidance for you when it comes to handling your worth, handling your value, and how you hold your money, right? As you consider money and the banks, this is the place where those two cross. So when you understand money, when I use these formulas for money, your moon would be connected to your money, which is that flow of waters. And the second house is connected to the banks. Now you could think of this as the building banks, but you can also think of this as like river banks. And your second house shows you that you're channeling this ever flowing energy through your banks. Okay. So the banks is what the second house is. It is the creation of goods ready to use, and that could be the containment of those goods. So we see here the second house is the creation of goods ready to use. This could be the containment of those goods, like a bank itself, or the creation of things that are helping to channel money through, right? So when you understand that you have money as a water element through the moon, the second house is a made up thing that helps to channel that money through, okay? So the second house is traditionally Taurus principles and is connected to materials that we own and how we're resourceful with those materials. And then with our production, right, of skills and talents as well, which get sharpened in the third house, but they're seated here in the second house. As you begin to grow something like a garden, when you think of a metaphor of a garden, you're growing your skills in the second house as you grow something else, as you make something else. So those two parallels are what you find here. That's the duality in the second house. It's connected to buying, to investing in materials, which is also a form of production. And we can also see this as the things that matter. So when you think about the river banks or the banks, these are the things that matter, that channel the money flow, that channel the water flow through you. In conclusion, the second house shows us how to make better income, right? And channel that income by being of value of yourself, having self-value, and or being a part of a production process of something that is useful and valuable to others. So the second house showcases the duality of receiving and giving. It has this energy of receiving by being something of value already, right? And that nourishment, that soil that's already prepared for you as the seed is ready to grow. And then also being a part of the production process, which is being a part of the process of what you grow something. In the metaphor of a garden, we would say a seed is growing. So there is a receiving and then there's a giving where you're a part of that production process. You're part of the creation of a thing, of something that matters. Awakening to the second house. Okay, the second house in your natal chart is by tradition narrated as a house of your income. So much information on this house. I've seen it as based off of a poverty or a scarcity mindset, which has a lot to do with our doing, right? That duality of the second house, we put a lot of heaviness on the doing, right? And forget about the other parts of it, the other part of the duality, which is the receiving, the thing of being value ready, the soil that is already toiled already, right? So the true purpose of the second house is self-producing. It's this inner bond, this inner support, and being a person of resource when it comes to material goods as well. Okay. And so it's what greatness you are already, and then the other great things that you have that basically reflect that greatness. And then the income comes in due to the creation. So things are always coming in, but it's all connected to the alignment and the creation and in the production process of the second house. So the income comes in due to the creation of alignment, the creation of you itself, and then the production of you in the second house. It's the duality of those two things. So we're going to go through a first formula based off of planets. If you have planets in the second house, you can use this as a guide for spending habits when it comes to finding the right quality according to what planet is in your second house. The quality determined will tell you how expensive and how expansive it is. If the quality is not in your formula, then it may cost you too much. We're understanding the second house is a space of finding your value, and the second house is a house of value determined by resources available and quality of production. So let's go through this. With the sun, the quality is determined by the gift of character building and self expression. With the moon, the quality is determined by its bringing of comfort and nourishment of itself to itself. With the Mercury there, the quality is determined by its ability to translate. To translate in general, but also its emotions into thoughts and communicate effectively. With Venus in the second house, the quality is determined by its capacity to meet pleasure zones, to have uh, dopamine experiences, and highly satisfying levels of them. With Mars, the quality is determined by being competitive, by recognizing its need to compete and its competence to do so, and recognizing your need to differentiate yourself from others. With Jupiter in the second house, the quality is determined by how expansive the product is, expansive in thought and capacity. With Saturn, the quality is determined by following structure, operating with discipline, and working with perseverance. With Uranus here, the quality is determined by connecting with the pod mind, using the feedback of other people around you, and being experimental. With Pluto, the quality is determined by how much power can be acquired or attained, and transformative powers, the ability to shed old self and become renewed, also how well you can detoxify things. Quality is determined by how well you can bring things to an end. With Neptune, the quality is determined by how well you can preserve sacred things like memories, photos, collectors, items, how well you can glamorize things and preserve them in style and poetic and artful forms. So, with this, it shows to you that the planets enhance your second house, determining on these things. You can use this as a guide for spending habits when it comes to finding the right quality according to what planet is in your second house. The quality determined will tell you how expensive and how expansive it is. If the quality is not in your formula, then it may cost you too much.